I'm super excited to welcome our next reader. Every time we get a new staff member at Malvern, if they're also a writer and also a woman, we have to indoctrinate them into the Ice Cream Social family. So our next reader is a staff member. She's been serving you ice cream tonight, and now she's going to serve you some really awesome scoops of her work. I'm really glad y'all like that. Celia Bell's work has appeared in BQR, Sewanee Review, and Bomb Magazine, among other venues. She holds an MFA from the New Writers Project at UT, and her favorite flavor of ice cream is anything with caramel in it. Celia.
Woo! So I feel like we know from listening to those which people like to write introductions, and it's not me. Sorry about that. What I'm reading tonight is a story that I'm just going to say a couple sentences about before I start. It is called The Thing in the Garden, and it's written in vignettes, some of which are like one sentence long and some of which are 2 or 3 pages. And it's about a number of things, but it's about the relationship between 2 women and the end of the world, and also about my grandfather's retirement community, which is a very strange place. And so I pulled a couple of vignettes out of, not all of them are in order, but they're all numbered. So there are going to be numbers missing. The Thing in the Garden. 1. I watered the thing, and it grew. 2. Keep in mind that this is the desert. Was the desert, rather. Is still, if you stick a spade beneath the soil. They keep pouring water into the land, and the land drinks it dry. Golf courses, with burning sand a hand's length beneath their rolled turf. If you drive out onto the freeway, it's like the color's been leached out of the world and into the sky. It's the same color as swimming pools, the color of someone's imagined idea of heaven. It's a shade of blue that stings your skin with chlorine, hot as sunlight. Sapphire tears the color of every desert traveler's dream of an oasis. Like the earth opened up, and inside lay this perfect blue mouth full of burning, sterile water. The desert drinks it up and makes it into more desert. When Jody and I moved into the retirement community, I biked around the pre-planned streets in the heat, past the golf courses. All of the houses looked the same, and all of the roads and cul-de-sacs looked the same. The same single-story white stucco buildings with red-tiled roofs, no stairs to trip and fall on, gravel driveways, dying grass or silver cactus on the front lawns. They were saving the water to keep the golf courses green. It's easy to get lost here, and in the midday heat, my sweat beaded my skin, then soaked my shirt in the band of my bra, then burned my eyes. I have nerve damage in the 2 smallest fingers of my left hand, shooting little roots out from the scar where the knife went in all those years ago. As I clenched my fingers around the sweat slick handlebar of the bike, the tightening band of numbness crept up my fingers to my elbow, as if some alien muscle had been grafted onto my body the way they graft grapefruit and orange trees onto unrelated roots. As if it were a new bloom that lived off of me, but had nothing to do with me. I was lost in the identical streets, and I could feel the sun sucking me dry. I wondered what would happen if I knocked on a door. The doors were all alike. I imagined biking back to the golf course and crawling across the fairway, over the dead grass around the fringes and the green living grass in the center, until I could put my mouth on one of the automated sprinklers and suck on it like a nipple. Instead, I retraced my bike route, and when I got home, I told Jody what I imagined, and she laughed. 3. All of these developments are built along a fault line. We're old people, retired, and the land is cheap. They built half of the planned community, and then they ran out of money and water and senior citizens. So now the golf course has dry patches, and if you walk or bike out to the edges, you'll find houses swapped in Tyvek, windowless, never to be finished. If there's a quake, it will all come tumbling down. But there hasn't been a quake. 4. Jody's body is a garden. After the cancer came, they took off her breasts, and over the thick belt of scar, she tattooed Eden. Those gnarled green branches, the tongue-pink tropical flower, peaches so ripe and round you'd think you could squeeze them still. I held her hand in the tattoo shop while the girl she'd worked with on the design bent over her body, holding the tattoo gun. She was a skinny girl in her 30s, her head half-shaved the way the young kids are wearing it now. She asked Jody if the pain was too much, and Jody ran her hand through the short cap of hair that was just now growing back gray over her eyes and said, "No, baby. Compared to cancer, nothing hurts." I saw the way she looked at us, the girl, when she wasn't bent over Jody's body with her tongue poking through her lips in concentration. That look of, "Here are my elders." The gratitude of knowing that we'd survived as long as we had. Sometimes they get the look, and sometimes their eyes slide right over us, seeing just two women, someone's mothers maybe, friends. After the tattoo healed, Jody stood in front of the mirror, turning to see her flattened profile. I came up behind her and ran my hands from her foliage down to the softest part of her stomach, where the flesh folds over the band of her underwear like an empty purse. And she kissed me and said, "Guess I get to be the butch one now, huh?" It's some Jungian kick she's on. At night, she props herself up on 3 pillows in bed and talks to me about animus and anima. She says, "Everyone has masculine and feminine energy. I've used my female energy my whole life, and now I feel like maybe I ought to learn to work with the part of me that's a man." She's still the woman I've always known. She's grown her hair out since the chemo and wears it in a gray snake down her back. She buys crystals at the hippie shop in Palm Springs and a tincture that's supposed to give you lucid dreams. She buys a bunch of white men's shirts and wears them open low enough that you can see the wild garden of her tattoo licking up against her collarbones, kissing the places where I kissed her after the bandages came off. 5. I found the thing years ago when we first moved here. Before we married, before Jody's cancer. When we bought the condo, it had a green lawn out front and rose bushes under the windows. It gets up to 120 in the summers here, and despite the automatic sprinkler system, the rose trees died and the grass went brown. The maintenance crew came out and dug up the lawn and replaced it with gravel and cactus to reduce the community's ecological footprint and provide an appropriate habitat for local wildlife. The price of keeping those golf courses green, I said to Jody. Before they dug it up, I went out and walked around on the dying grass in our little cube-shaped backyard. It crunched under my feet, and the whole ground seemed to slope down to a little funnel-like hole near the western corner of our privacy fence. It looked like a burrow. I sat down beside it, feeling companionable, imagining the quickening heartbeat of the rabbit or vole that must be down there, hiding out from the heat, listening to the tremors in the ground as Jody and I walked around on top of its head. "I bet it's hot down there, honey, isn't it?" I asked the air. Then I thought a little bit and brushed the bits of dead leaves off my ass and went in to get a bowl of water to set at the entrance of the burrow. Jody brought the bowl in the next morning while I was sitting at the breakfast table, dry except for a scum of dirt in the bottom. "Why'd you leave my good bowl outside overnight, June?" "I thought the rabbits might be thirsty with the drought." I shrugged, and Jody came over and tousled my hair and pressed my face into her stomach. "You old softy, letting the rabbits drink out of my nice china. What next?" But she filled the bowl up again and put it back where I'd left it. 8. The thing stayed like that for a while, a little burrow hole behind the condo. I left water and sometimes carrots out for it, but it only ever touched the water. Nothing else touched the carrots either. Sometimes there would be birds in the front yard, but I never saw anything in the back garden. No rabbits. Still, I felt a strange affection for the thing, as if I'd found some dry, shy creature that didn't want to venture out of its dark, protective hole, and I had to defend it. It started to change around the time Jody got diagnosed. First, the California Supreme Court ruled that we should have marriage, and then Jody told me to take her down to the courthouse and make an honest woman out of her. We didn't have a honeymoon, we didn't have rings. We went out to dinner in Palm Springs afterwards, her in her yellow suit with flowers still in her hand, a table full of friends down from San Francisco for the weekend. All night, strangers walked across the room to say, "Congratulations, how long have you been waiting?" Then a month or two later, she stepped out of the shower, pink and steaming, and dropped her towel and said, "June, come feel this. I think I feel a lump. That's a lump, isn't it?" It was. We got the tests back, and Jody went to her yoga classes and did meditative breathing and drank gallons of green tea and cried. She started chemo. When she was zonked out on the bed in the afternoon, I'd go out and pace around the backyard, hot tub to fence, China bowl to wind chime, and as I paced, I saw that the burrow was getting larger. It had been a little bull's hole. Now it looked like I could put my fist down it. It was glimmering. There was a strange green shininess to the dirt. I scratched at it with my toe, talked to it, and then after weeks had passed, I got down on my hands and knees and looked into the depth of it. I saw a sheen way down, deep, dark, like the contracting pupil of an eye. I blinked at it, and when I wiped the tears off my face, I swear I saw it blink back. Please, I said. I'm not sure who I thought I was praying to. I need someone to make this okay.